Hey guys, today's video is all about how you can make airport travel budget friendly and a lot less stressful. So I've got some great tips for you. Literally, I just got back from a trip a few days ago, and these are tips that I use when I travel to really stay in budget and be able to travel a lot more often. So this video is all about anything having to do with the airport, some of my favorite budget friendly tips. So with that, let's go ahead and get to it. So the first thing to start out with is when you're getting to and from the airport. There are so many different options available to you for how to get there. I think our favorite one would be having a friend or family member give you a ride. That's always very much appreciated, and I'm always happy to return the favor for any of you guys too. But if you've got different ways of getting there, I think a lot of us lean on rideshare apps, right, like Uber or Lyft to get us there. But I just do want to caution you that they are not always necessarily the most budget friendly and cheapest. A lot of times for rideshare drivers, there are access fees or airport fees that are charged every time a share gets onto airport property, and those fees are passed along to you. And that's in addition to any tolls or any other fees that the driver picks up while they're taking you. So before you get to the airport, take a little bit of time, at least a few days before, and just do a quick search. In some towns, taxis offer flat rates to get you from the airport to certain parts of town. Like, for example, in Vegas, taxis will have a flat rate that takes you from the airport, to certain hotels on the strip. And a lot of the times it's really competitive compared to rideshare. In addition, if you're planning on parking at the airport, take a look around in advance. Parking on airport is always really convenient, and there are times when it really does make sense financially and is the best option. Take a look at the airport's website before you get there. For example, at Oakland Airport in California, a lot of the times they'll offer special parking deals if you're going, during certain times of the month. If you're gone for a certain number of days. I know a few years back they started flying a route to Europe. So they had a deal where if you were flying to Europe during, this month period, they would give you like 50% off of parking. So you can get some really good deals just by looking ahead. In addition, there's plenty of off-site parking garages as well. They'll give you a shuttle, give you a ride to the airport. And another one that I absolutely love using is oftentimes the hotels that are close to the airport will also allow you to park there. Typically you do have to pay, but I have found that the hotel parking for air travelers is really competitive, especially compared to the on-airport parking. Now, the last one that I do want to encourage you to look at is check out public transit. Where I used to live, they had a great public transit system that took you like directly into the airport. It was super easy. And where I live now, it's not necessarily the greatest, but I was doing some research into it last week before my trip, and I realized that they have a free electric shuttle bus that takes you from the main train station over to the airport. So you can choose to, park by the train station. You can have someone drop you off there, take an Uber there, whatever the case may be, and then hop on that free little shuttle or bus that they have to get you to the airport. A lot of times when public transit is going to the airport, they have extended hours. They make trips more often, but definitely check out the time schedules and see what works best for you and your needs. Now, once you're at the airport, the first kind of stumbling block that you're going to make it to is the security line. And that one is never fun to be a part of. So the first tip I have for you there is make sure to pack the items going with you through security mindfully, right? Make sure that you don't have anything in your bag that's going to get tossed out by security, right? Don't have extra liquids or anything that might cause like a red flag or get you to get delayed, right? When push comes to shove, security, if they have a question about it, it's going to get tossed. So if it's something that you don't want tossed, make sure you don't bring it with you. Make sure you're mindful about what you're bringing. Now, another thing that I do recommend is make sure that in your carry-on bag, easily accessible, you have extras of all the essentials that you need, right? So if you take any medication, bring a couple with you. If you wear contacts or glasses, make sure you have those with you. Have a cell phone charger with you, just in case of emergency. It could be just a quick trip that you're taking, but you honestly never know what's going to happen. There could be weather, there could be mechanical issues, just anything could happen, and it's always better to have just a small amount of those little things with you before you take your trip. If you wind up at your destination and your bag with your medication is lost, it is going to cost a whole lot more to try to get in contact with your doctor to reissue you a new one, to go to a pharmacy to get new meds, and that adds a whole bunch of additional stress that you really don't need, and it really you don't need to have that kind of stress when you're traveling and looking to have a good time. um, Through security, you'll see in a lot of places in the US, they've got the speed lines, right? You've got programs like TSA PreCheck, Global Entry, Clear, and these are all fantastic programs, especially if you travel often. But they do come with a fee, right? Something to keep in mind, though, is there are more and more credit cards that offer as one of their perks now that they will pay for your registration to these programs. So if you have credit cards and you're using them responsibly, go to the website, check out what benefits they offer you, and then make sure that if you are going to take advantage of signing up for one of these programs like TSA PreCheck, Global Entry, and Clear, that you read like the rules and parameters that they lay out so that you can get like the maximum benefit and biggest bang for your buck when you're signing up for these programs. And if you already have some of these programs, just keep in mind that with some of them, if you're traveling as a family, your kids can come with you for free. So, TSA PreCheck, I think kids under 12 are allowed to travel. With Clear, if you have that program, then I think you can add kids like under age 18, depending on the plan that you have. So make sure you look into it. If this is an avenue that you want to explore, you can absolutely get it for free, which is awesome. Now, the next tip that I want to go over with you is about food and beverage. So I think we've all seen those memes online about how, you make it through security and no matter what time of day it is, you can, buy ridiculously priced snacks and a beer, right? And while that's true, and, it can definitely be fun when you're on a budget, it can be really stressful to pay extra for something that you feel like you don't necessarily need. So first and foremost, with food and beverages, you can definitely bring a reusable water bottle with you, or even just the plastic one if you already bought one. But keep in mind that it does adhere to the liquids rule. A lot of times through security, they have bins. You can just dump out your water right there. Go through security with the empty water bottle, and then when you get to the other side, there's a lot of refill stations. I'm seeing that become a lot more prevalent, which is awesome for the environment and for our wallets. Now, don't feel like you have to have, the snacks that they offer you at the little newspaper stand, or that you have to sit down at one of the restaurants if you're feeling hungry. You can definitely bring snacks and food with you onto the plane. Just kind of some tips to keep in mind. It's always great to have some non-perishables, something that will last a little bit longer, granola bars or whatever the case may be. But you can bring like actual food with you through security. It's not a problem. Just to kind of give myself some peace of mind, I like the really easy things, the things that don't make much of a mess. When my kids and I travel, we always grab, like wraps at the grocery store. That way it's like eat it with one hand, doesn't spill all over the place. It's pretty self-contained. And then when we're done, we just kind of toss or recycle the little paper that it came with. So those are some of our favorites. But you can actually bring like most foods, to be honest. Like if you look on the TSA website, things like that, you can bring a ton of things. You can bring like a dip or a veggie tray, or whatever the case may be. And it's always better to have it with you rather than get stuck with whatever options are there and available to you, which typically aren't the healthiest. Now, the last tip that I want to give you about making airport travel budget friendly is about rental cars, right? So we all saw like a few years ago when it was really hard to get a rental car and the prices went sky high. Now, if you do a little bit of planning beforehand, there are ways that you can save so much money on renting a car and getting around where you need to go at your final destination. So, in terms of prices of rental cars, check around, check the different companies that are available there. You can see huge price fluctuations between like Enterprise and Hertz and some of these other ones. Something else to keep in mind is if you don't need a rental car right away at the airport, sometimes it's cheaper to pick it up at a different location closer to your final destination. But keep in mind the hours that you're getting in. A lot of the times the airport has extended hours compared to some of the other locations where they don't. But there are times when you can pick up a rental car in one spot, drop it off in another, vice versa. That's totally fine. And there are plenty of discounts out there if you kind of plan ahead. So, for example, at my work, they offer a discount. We have a corporate travel policy that we use, but they also offer us a discount for when we book our own personal rental cars. And sometimes I take advantage of that and get a phenomenal deal on that, making it even cheaper than taking a ride share. Places like your insurance company might also offer discounts. Like I mentioned before, your credit card might have a travel portal where they can offer discounts to rental cars. AAA and AAA offers phenomenal discounts. And actually, AARP also offers a ton of travel-related discounts. And with AAA and AARP, you do have to become a member, but usually it's really affordable. It's like $25 for a year. And a lot of times, if you take advantage of the discounts that they offer their members, you will get that investment back almost immediately, along with some other benefits as well. Now, with rental cars, pretty much any car, it's a great idea to make sure that you have insurance. Rental car companies, they will always offer you the insurance coverage that they have if worse comes to worse and something were to happen to you or your passengers or the vehicle when you have it. But keep in mind that a lot of times, like I mentioned, a lot of credit cards offer coverage to you as a driver when you're in a rental car. Also, for example, my insurance that I have, my auto insurance, it covers me and the vehicle that I'm in, even if I don't own it. So I have rental car coverage already. So I don't need to pay extra to get coverage from the rental car company, and that saves me a ton of money as well. Now, one more note, a lot of rental cars, they want you to make the payment on a credit card. Now, carrying debt on a credit card is not a good idea, if you can help it. But using a credit card to make mindful purchases that you're able to pay off is a fantastic idea. Some credit cards offer insurance for rental cars as well. But typically, if you do not have a credit card and you're using like a debit card, you have to put down a deposit when you rent the rental car, and it is now hundreds and hundreds of dollars, right? And after you return the car, they don't give you that deposit back right away. It takes them time to process because they want to make sure that the car is in good condition, that it's not damaged. And it's super frustrating because it's hard to be out a few $100s. So if you can, definitely use a credit card for that, to make your payment for the rental car, to put the deposit on. It makes it just so much easier for you. That's pretty much everything that I've got for today. Let me know kind of what other fun airport travel hacks you have to make flying budget friendly. But that was specifically focused on and around the airport, getting to and from the airport. If there's any kind of particular topics you want me to cover about how to make it budget friendly, how to make it easy, simple, and stress free, leave me a comment down below, and I'll talk to you guys all next week.